Hello, welcome everybody to Appy Hour. Today's topic, Hyperdocs. And a quick agenda. Of course, we're starting with what it is and how to make it. And we're going to talk about differentiating them, and then my personal favorite, finding them, so I don't have to make them myself. Yay. If you're here live with me right now and you're good with the agenda, go ahead and give me an emoticon in the chat. So what is a hyperdoc? And then we're going to kind of move into those other categories about what to do with it. And with that, my two colleagues with me, Lisa and Lynn, are both here, and they're going to take over some of this magic. If you have any questions, you can ask them in the chat, and I'll jump in and ask them to our presenters. But without further ado, what's a
here? Hyperdocs are actually that you would create for your students that are digitally accessible. You know, the students can access them via their Chromebook or a computer, and it's kind of self-paced. So you provide them the information that they need, and they move at their own pace, and they're really, really awesome, and they're really, really fun. But before we move on, I have to give credit where credit is due. These are the ladies who originally created Hyperdoc. It's a term that people use pretty regularly now. But Lisa, I feel, is probably your number one girl. She's right in the middle of the picture. And then Kelly and Sarah, who are her good buddies, who also helped them. They've published a book. If you're interested, you can purchase that. We're not here to sell the book. We don't have the book. But we want to give credit where credit is due. They are the people who developed Hyperdoc. So we make sure that that's very clear, that we didn't make this up. We just borrowed it as a great teaching tool. They've given us permission to share this with you and whoever. Oh, that's what is a Hyperdoc? Here's some information maybe to just kind of clear it up with you. It's a piece of instructional material which can be for professional development or in a classroom for students. It can be anything you want it to be in terms of it can be a daily assignment versus a huge project. You can have any length of time that might count for. So it might be a day, 2 days, a month. It really just depends on how to set it up. It is great for collaboration, yay. And obviously, we're going to talk about differentiation as well. So what? It's a Google Doc with some links on it, or any document with links on it, which we want to make sure that that's really, really clear. Just because you stick some links on a document does not make it a Hyperdoc. Some people will speak about a Hyperdoc as such, but that's just not the case. A Hyperdoc has a very solid purpose. It's for the sole purpose of teaching and learning in a unique manner that provides everybody equal opportunity regardless of where they start. In terms of their knowledge base, gives everybody an equal opportunity to be successful. So far, yes, the superhero sets are pretty awesome. Everybody. So again, more than just a document with some links on it, this is just a chart that you'll have access to. We will provide you this presentation as a Google Doc that you can go back to and refer to. But basically, you just want to make sure that when you're creating a Hyperdoc authentically, that it is more than just some links on the page. It has a purpose, in collaboration, but doesn't have to. It has things to do, tasks that are meaningful, engage students with critical thinking. So something we want to take, it's like a level higher than just your average. Here's a worksheet. This is not a worksheet. It's like a worksheet. It could be a piece of paper, but it is not a worksheet. So we just want to make sure that we're really, really clear on that. So the next part, and Lisa, you got me because you know I'll just keep going. Making a Hyperdoc. I'm going to take you live. I'm going to show you some examples of some Hyperdocs that Lisa and I made. Some we just grabbed from other people to show you that you can find so much out there. But to Hyperdoc, you need to be able to make a hyperlink, and that's really, really important. So let me come back to this design after I go live. So hold for a second. I'm going to pull up my screen. So you're going to see what's on my screen. And then there you go. So give me a moment to share my.
And as Lynn does that, it just takes a kind of a quick second, and then
Yeah.
it'll pull up for you. That's supposed to happen.
There
Thank you, Lynn.
Woohoo! So if you need to speak in the chat, all you need to do is put your cursor up to that little green bar that says you are sharing your desktop or whatever it says, and you can pull down the chat box. So you can see, you can still chat. If you have a question, that would be awesome. This one, this creative writing challenge is a Hyperdoc that I just found on the internet. It's a great example of how we would put together something. It looks fun, it looks engaging, it's not boring. Students are going to be drawn to this, and it's got the engagement, so a cute little activator and telling them, you know, a little discussion. Good writing is hard work. Is this true for you? Because we have to consider some people writing is just natural. And it is hard for some students. So just getting them to kind of get that out there is a great way to get them thinking and starting. Then go to storybird.com. If you're not familiar with this app, it's a great app for writing. It provides authentic, original artwork that students can link to their story. So they for a picture of something they might be thinking about and then write to that. Or you can do the reverse. You can just find a picture that speaks to you and then make a story based on that. That's really a fun app if you're not familiar with it. They have them actually write after they select their image and write. She has them do a little reflection, and she has how she has them turn it in. Of course, we probably use Google Classroom, but it's hers. So that's just one example. The thing about a Hyperdoc is you do need to be able to make a hyperlink. These hyperlinks, anything that's blue underlined, you can see her document is something that does something. It goes somewhere. So let me show you how to do that. These are, this is the Hyperdoc that Lisa made. This actually is a perfect example of going step by step through Lisa Highfield's She has the engage, explore, explain, apply. And if you want to go full force, this would be a 100% authentic, guaranteed Hyperdoc because it has every element in it. See where it says what is a Hyperdoc or what are Hyperdocs, and then this link, another link. So within this, Lisa has put other documents or places to go. They could be websites. To make a link, all you need to do is highlight what you want to link. So for example, Lisa, this was just a sentence, and she highlighted it, and then she added the link. So to do that, just take the Creative Writing Challenge, right? I'm going to grab the link from my Creative Writing Challenge. Here's the link. I'm just grabbing it. I'm copying it right from there. I'm coming back. I click. It's already highlighted. I'm going to go right here. See where it says Insert Link. I also right-click. Link. There it is there. So I can either right-click and get it. I like to just come right up here and grab it. And then you paste it right in. And when you paste it, you hit Apply, and you get your link. You can do this with an image or a shape that you've put on your page. Anything that you can attach the link to, it will let you know. So if it's something that you cannot attach it to, you won't have that link option. So, and now you have that link. I'm just going to remove it because Lisa doesn't actually want that link there, I'm sure. And just show you, it doesn't have to be in this format. You can do it any way you want. So here's one that I made. This is my Hyperdoc that I made for Google Classroom for a school that we went and worked with. And it's some links. It's given an activator. It's giving them some information and some resources. And if I wanted this to be a lesson, I could put another up below saying, now create your own Google Classroom and make sure you have this, this, and this. And that would be the challenge for the students. I don't have time for that. So we were working live at the time. And you can work live off of a Hyper. You don't have to just post it and have kids go. However, it is wonderful to use as self-paced learning. Are there any questions about Hyperdocs? I'm going to unshare my screen at this point and take a break and see if anybody has questions.
If there aren't any, you can go ahead and just give us an emoticon in the chat. That's kind of our nod, and then we'll know we can you know.
Great.
So, Lynn, we go from making, and where are we headed next?
I think Lisa's going to take over and talk about differentiation, but before that, I just want to show everybody that we have placed what the steps, and this is exactly how Lisa set up her Hyperdoc with the Engage, the Explore, and this explains each part. So this is a great tool for people to use when they go back to and make Hyperdocs in their classroom. To move a link, you just, when you click on it, you'll get an option to update or remove it, and you just click remove it. You could remove the text and retype the text if you wanted to. There's some options there. Great. All right, and one more thing, just to kind of wrap it up, when you are making a Hyperdoc, it really is all about the packaging. Don't make a Hyperdoc in black and white and boring and small and no images. It really does, it needs to be pretty. You want kids drawn to it. I mean, really what it's all about. It's more than just a worksheet. Our saying is, if a kid can do the worksheet, they didn't need it. And if a kid can't do the worksheet, it's not going to help them. So a Hyperdoc just gives so much more opportunity to engage the student in multiple media. It's just a wonderful, wonderful tool. And then I'll give you a little template here, which steps you through it. If you want, you can access each of these links. Again, we'll provide you this whole presentation, and you'll have access to all of these items.
And Orly asked us if you can link to documents in your Drive, and that is absolutely true as well. You can definitely link to things that are in your Drive as long as we make sure to share them with students.
You can link to items in your Drive. You can link to other slides in a slideshow, so you could provide, you know, jump here to do this and have it all in one spot, but it's on different slides, and you can just link to them.
Another question is, you could call it an interactive worksheet. You may have said that.
You could, but Hyperdoc is, I'm not sure that they've actually copyrighted it at this point, but it is a term that is just used. Yeah, I guess you could describe it as an interactive worksheet. We try to keep the worksheet word out of that.
The bad word of worksheets. It's like as we come up with these terms in education. What was it, WebQuest back in the day? If you're old like me, you can get emoticon if you ever ran a WebQuest. But this kind of, I think they're trying to encapsulate that it's more than just a worksheet. You
can insert a video. You can insert to any website that you want to go to. You can, so if you love WebQuest, then this is your next step. I mean, this is your WebQuest of the 2017.
And maybe worthy, as we move through differentiating those pieces, but it may be worthy if we demo some of these skills. We have one there to say a video link. So that's kind of a next. You can insert video as long as it's on YouTube. To play directly within the document, you can as long as it's with YouTube and the insert menu.
Link to any video, actually, because we linked to Lisa Highfill speaking at a conference, actually. So
link to, but you embed.
Oh, embed. Yes. You are.
And Fulbert, you might have meant one or the other, but we'll give you both answers. So there you go. We'll keep for posterity.
Right.
Now let's talk how to differentiate with these awesome tools. Lisa, take it over. But you do want to make sure you unmute so we can hear you while you go. I'm guessing. There we go.
I thought I muted because I was unmuted. I'm so sorry. I'm Lisa Fuller, and I am Carrie and Lynn's teammate. And one of the reasons I really love Hyperdocs is that you can differentiate, and they don't even know that they've been differentiated, because you can change the links within the Hyperdoc by meaning the same topic. So one of the ways to do that, I don't know if any of you have heard of Newsella. I'm not really sure I'm pronouncing that right. I'm going to put the link to it in the chat, and maybe the emoticon if you have a thumbs up or a happy smiley face if you and what it basically does is it gives you an article. Here's an article of the topic, but it will adjust the left Lexile level so that any who's reading at a different level can have access to the same information. So you might be doing research on President Kennedy, and you could get different levels, different levels for reading. So you want to make sure that you initiate by doing that. And the other way that you can determine the Lexile level, if you have documents that I'm not sure what level is, there's something called Readable that Lynn told me about today that she uses all the time. I'm also going to put this in that. If you have the words, you can drop them into this document, and it will tell you the Lexile level. So you can highlight part of the document, drop it into Readable, and then they will tell you what Lexile level that is. So you're giving your students the information and the work that they are reading, the writability level for them. It happens through a Hyperdoc. So I'll share another Hyperdoc with you. And Carrie, as you're advancing for me, I guess I can do that. The Great Chocolate Milk Debate. And this is a document. I did not create this. I found it and I really liked it. You just click on. Let me do this. Hold on. Carrie, can you click? Because I don't seem to be able to click.
So, Lisa, are you taking them to see a web page? Is that what you're thinking?
I want to click on the chocolate milk.
In WebEx only shows the screen. So if you want to go to a link, you have to share your screen with everybody, and they'll take you right there.
Okay, going to give me the power?
You have the power. Go up to Share and go Share Application and choose Chrome.
Okay, I don't see that. You can tell that I'm new at sharing. I don't share well. Where would that be, Carrie? Oh, sure. No.
A second.
Okay.
So if you're watching this on recording or you're here with me live right now, we're going to go to the Chocolate Milk Debate. This is a separate page, so yeah. As my screen changes over for you, if you're watching this on recording, you can still go to the doc, and if you're with me live, you can go ahead and click on it. Might going to take just a quick second to change. It does that. It's a little slow, but when it comes up, you'll be able to see where we are. And Lisa will tell us why this is really cool.
Okay, thank you, Carrie. So on this document, I want you to scroll to the second page so they can see what their performance task is. Hold on a second. I seem to have lost it. So the performance task to identify whether or not this chocolate milk should be allowed in school cafeterias. So the second page is where they will do that performance task. Having trouble scrolling. Here we go. Write a document taking a stand either for or against chocolate milk being served in schools. They'll get their evidence using the links on the first page. So the reasons are listed. They are all links, as Lynn showed you. Once you create a link, it changes color so you can see that it is in fact a link. So China News, Shrimp Chocolate Milk, and they're going to use all of these links, which are differentiated depending on their reading level. And then they're going to log what is the name, what is your evidence, and is there any bias in the name or evidence. And then using that information, they'll respond to the performance task. And what I really love about using a Hyperdoc is they have everything that they need to be successful in doing this performance task. While you might be meeting with another group, you've got one group working on their Hyperdoc and maybe another group sitting with you, and they should be independent. We have gone over all of this in advance and the appropriate. I think the key here is that it's at their appropriate level. So if anybody have any questions about that, go ahead or comments. And I'm interested in what you think is the difference between a Hyperdoc and a web quest, because like I was around for web quest. We didn't even think of what it was called this afternoon. We were trying to out. So Paul, I see they would differentiate for each student. Hopefully you'll have groups of students that are at the same level, but you could differentiate for each student. It's kind of like when you set up I was an elementary school teacher, so we would set reading groups. those are my differentiated groups. So I have different Hyperdocs, or maybe 3 different Hyperdocs that push out through Google Classroom to specific students. One that told me they love request.
A question, it seems, just a question on the difference of wondering between worksheets and lists. And I think the nice part about these tools is I think they're a little bit blurry, but Lisa is also pushing that we really want to make sure that students have something worthy of inquiry, as you set up these Hyperdocs. Would that be fair, Lisa?
That would be fair, and I also, because our students are using their books, I have when I was in the classroom, when I went to WebQuest, I did most of the, we had to do the computer lab, or we did it as a whole class at board because I was the one opening up all the links. That memory of WebQuest, they were great, but this is totally independent classroom with the Chromebooks. Does Google Docs read the text? Yeah, there is a way I have Google Docs. Carrie, you want to speak to that?
I can. I also would wonder, Lisa, if you can make this shareable, because I can just use this doc right here.
Oh, of course.
So I have folks, as we're all looking at this document. This is one where you probably want to come back, because I'm going to demo it showing the screen. So if you're here with me live, hey, go back to WebEx, because I'm going to show you what I'm about to do here. And in the chat, Lisa, you might type the words Google Read and Write. And you have Google Read and Write installed. Hey, give me yes in the chat. If you don't, I'm going to actually let you know we did another Appy Hour on this one, so you can find out more about it. But I do need to go back. I'm going to my settings up here at the top. Come down. Yes?
You should now.
And I'll refresh this one first. And I need to turn it back on. I turned it off. So I'm going to go up here, and I'm going to go to Settings. And this is how you turn on and off extensions. So if you ever want to know, like, I need to turn an extension on or off, I go into my settings, I click on my extensions, and I'm going to scroll down till I find Read and turn it back on. I see it took us a little while. Those of you guys on the recording will very much see this, that my computer is slow, so I turn it off sometimes to speed life up. But let me find Read and Write here. And back on. I'm going to enable it. I can come back to your example. And you're at the top of my screen. Let's save that enabled for make sure we're good here. Sometimes a second. Up at the top of my screen, I have a little RW. This is Google Read and Write. And if I click on it, Google Write, free version, everybody, you don't need any pay for this one, can have text read to them by clicking on a little play icon up here.
Debate is whether or not chocolate milk should be sold in school cafeterias.
And so it can read to them. So this is a really great extension that all our students can put on, and you as a teacher can actually get the full. I have here. I have the full pay version right here.
With obesity, diabetes.
And there we go.
And I'm putting in the chat, this is the link to the Channel 9 link on our Hyperdoc, which is actually Channel 9 News. They're going to listen to the news and be taking notes while we're listening. They can split their screen. So, Carrie, split screen option?
I can, but I'm not quite sure. Do you mean tab resize or whatnot? Or why don't we, you know what? That's an awesome one. And you know what? If you're watching this, I'm recording or live, it's going to be here. That's an awesome thing to explore. And we've done a couple Appy Hours on it as well. So we'll make sure to there's a lot of resources for that. But isn't it great to know that you can go side by side and take notes?
While the video is on for the milk debate, they can have Carrie's model and how to do side by side. And as she said, we did an Appy Hour on it. You have the video going on one side and doc chart on the other side, and they're actually writing while they're listening. So I do use tab resize, Carrie.
Finally, I do want to give one question that came through to host. You notice here we used a doc. the very first examples Lisa gave, and I use this all the time, are actually in slides. And the question was, wait, that's slides? That's like PowerPoint? It's horizontal. How do you change your orientation so that you can build something as gorgeous as those first examples that Lynn shared? And we'll make sure to throw links to those examples in the chat before we wrap up today. If you go to File and go to Page Settings, this is where you can change it. I have standard and widescreen. I can do customize. I know what the size of a piece of paper is. I set that and it changes my screen. So those of you guys who were wondering, how did Lynn have such awesome slides? How did it look this way? Now, is that a benefit? Slides much easier. First of all, you can embed video, which was a question earlier, by going Insert Video and then picking a YouTube. So maybe we'll go Hyperdoc here. I mean, super easy. But it allows you to place items on the screen wherever you want. When you're out in Docs, you have to kind of use tables. You have to fiddle around. But if you're using slides, put things anywhere you want, and it's super easy. So thanks for that question.
The other slides is I make a 5 or a 5x7 card as an exit tool, strategy. So you can do all kinds of things with the size on slides. Yeah, it's really cool, and it engages the kids. So, any questions about the chocolate milk debate? Actually, if anyone has a comment about what is different than a web quest, I give my opinion, but you might wonder about why that might be different and how you can take a web quest that you use and put it in Hyperdocs. I think it's pretty easy to do it at this point.
And if you have any, you can just give us a smiley face. We're going to real quick just highlight a few places about where you can find these, and then we're going to wrap up so we stay on time.
Okay. So Hyperdocs is really easy. I've given you 2 places on Twitter, #Hyperdocs, if you put that in the search. And at Heifel, that is Lisa Heifel, who is one of the Hyperdocs girls. That if you put in just a search for Hyperdocs, you will find on Twitter. And then the other one is to just Google it. When we have a question, like people say, how do I do this, that? We say, just Google it, because a lot of times that's what Lynn and Carrie and I do to find an answer to our question. So those are 2 places that you can find Hyperdocs. But we also have on the next page, sample Hyperdocs. These are ones that you can use. If you like it, make a copy of it for yourself and modify it. Use it the way it is. Modify it if you want to. You can write and ask us if we've many that.
Now, Lisa, you guys included this here, but what we're going to do, and maybe even do it before, is we're going to include a link to this document in slides, where we know and love slides. Like slides is best. And you'll be able to click on the links, because those of you guys are watching on recording and live, if you're looking at this, none of those links are going to work, because WebEx doesn't, sorry WebEx, it's not as cool as Google. We all know that. You can give me a smiley face if you agree to that one. But we'll make sure to get a link. Each guys.
Lynn's link in the chat for you.
I knew it. Yay. So if you go ahead and go to the presentation, you'll find those links there. Wonderful.
And maybe you want to keep posting it, because all wonderful emoticons are pushing it up. There it is. So that's another place for you to use. And what I want you to do to jump into this is pick a favorite lesson that may be oldie but goodie. Identify some links that would support that lesson. Maybe you already have them that you push to the kids individually through Classroom. They become part of the Hyperdocs. For the 5 E's, that was the explore, engage, explore, explain, extend. That should be like the basis for your developing your lesson. And above, have fun. Your kids could have Hyperdoc as final assignment for something you give them. As a performance task that you give them, create a Hyperdoc to teach the class X, Y, Z. So you can turn it over to them, and they will do so well with it. So if you have questions for us, or comments, you can chat. And I wanted to say, make sure that you have signed in with attendance. I'm going to
we'll hold on that. This is Sure. So what have we done today? Hyperdocs. These are authentic, engaging experiences for students. You can create them in Google Docs, but seriously, we recommend slides. It's awesome. We do give students a challenge, give them questions worth answering. So that's our little perk throw out right there. And if you're wondering, where do you go from here? Well, these are Lisa and Lynn's sessions. Lesson you love, find links, think about engagement, and put it all together. Now, any questions, throw them in the chat. If you don't, give us smiley faces. We do have a question from Brendan that asks, can performance tasks be hyperdocked and submitted as a Google Classroom? Lisa?
You can use to get them out to the kids? I'm sorry.
So you can do the hyperdocs, and if students fill it out, document, they absolutely turn it into Classroom.
Yes, because the hyperdoc will become the document that you send to them, and then they would turn it in. Yes.
And folks, thanks everybody for coming today on Appy Hour. We never want to leave you alone, so we're going to make sure to connect you with extra support if you need. Every school until June 30th has 2 instructional technology specialists. Use this up while you can. We do live weekly at hours. It's a little bit of an older template. So we now do these weekly at 4:30. You can join us. All our Appy Hours are recorded. I'm going to drop the link to our chat back in. So I'm going to throw that, or not to our chat, excuse me, to our site. You can get to other ones. And I have updated my Twitter handle. I'll throw that in the chat for you. You can follow us, and we actively tweet, just tweets. Leah, you said you tweet for fun, we tweet for work. So you follow us, you'll get some good tips, tricks, and ideas. To everybody for joining us today. And I'd like to say here, keep connecting awesome instruction with Rockstar Apps.